The new phase of Star Wars has finally revealed itself. Well, I guess if you have stayed away from leaks and anything on the internet. I think most people probably have figured at this point that the High Republic, after it was mentioned in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, was going to be officially this new phase of Star Wars. But either way, I love the information we have received about this new interconnected tale that's going to be across a couple of books, some Yas stories, a couple of comics, etc. It seems really, really cool. And apparently, I guess Project Luminous and all this stuff has been an idea being fleshed out since about 2014, 2015. That's really wild to me. I had no idea. This is all going to take place not 400 years before, but 200 years before the Phantom Menace. And there's going to be some kind of great disaster that kicks off this entire series of interconnected tales. And Charles Soule is the one penning the first book called Light of the Jedi, which will incorporate this disaster. Whatever it is, I have no idea. But apparently it forces these Jedi in their prime, these Jedi of the High Republic, to venture to the Outer Rim and to deal with whatever threat there is out there that we currently are sort of unaware of. However, we were also given information about some villains called the Nile, and they're sort of explained as punk rock, Vikings, pirates, space pirates, whatever, of the Star Wars galaxy. There was no mention of dark side force use or anything like that, but just that these were going to be just a group of marauders, and that's going to be part of what these ancient Jedi 200 years ago are facing in this High Republic era. So beyond just the story itself, I want to talk about the look a little bit. And I just want to mention again, yeah, I'm shooting straight from the hip. This is unedited at chat. The look of everything that I saw, including the covers and some of the concept art, looked fascinating. I love how, for lack of a better word, how like regal these Jedi look. And there's just a wide variety of species in this order. And what's also cool is you can see a couple of crossguard lightsabers in this art. We have a Twi'lek and a human in one image holding a crossguard lightsaber, where just the single beam coming out of the top with the crossguard being actually metal itself, or whatever Star Wars metal that is. And then we also have a Wookiee, I love this Wookiee, donning a crossguard lightsaber. Now, I've seen a couple of articles saying, look, it's the first Wookiee Jedi in Star Wars ever. Wrong. But anyways, I guess if we're thinking of it by date, sure, maybe in terms of the Star Wars timeline, maybe that's the first Wookiee in Star Wars in the galaxy, within their galaxy, you know what I mean? But definitely not the first Wookiee Jedi. I think we saw that in the Clone Wars. But I love that. I love this. And I also thought the Star Beacon, or whatever the hell, Starlight Beacon, I'm not sure if that's what it was called. Again, I'm just going off of the information I took in as I watched some stuff from the official Star Wars YouTube channel and read a couple little blurbs about it online. And this looks like this will be also a place where the Jedi reside, and there will be a story that takes place there. Sounds really cool. Kind of reminds me and looks like the Starforge, and it just has a look of antiquity and also a look of retrofuturism, which is exactly what Star Wars should be. And then overall, just the look of these Jedi, their capes, their lightsabers, their stance. One of the female Jedi on the covers looks like she was just taken out of a Mad Max film, but she just looks pure high fantasy 80s feel. I like that stuff. The deep thought going into what this new era is going to be is really fascinating me, and it's making me excited in a way that I was worried wasn't going to happen after the Skywalker saga ended. Because if you're like me, you probably want some new tales, and this is exactly what this is going to be. A clean slate, a fresh start, brand new territory for all these authors to explore. And I've definitely heard this sentiment expressed on a lot of other fellow Star Wars YouTube channels, but the new novels until now were sort of under the umbrella of leading towards the films at all times. There was always a journey to whatever. Nothing really stood on its own, if you know what I mean. And that doesn't mean that these books were bad. I have to say, Rogue One, Phasma, The Last Jedi, those three in particular were probably my favorite novelizations. The first Thrawn book in the new EU was really good, but overall it seemed all to serve the movies and not just be an entity in and of itself. So again, I don't know every fine detail about Project Luminous in all these books, and I'm not going to go through every author that's involved. However, I just want to talk about a few thoughts that I have after seeing the concept art beyond just talking about the Jedi and whatever. I just want to talk about what I think could be going on and why it makes me excited. So there's the talk of the Great Disaster, and this is what's going to kick off everything concerning all of these new stories. And it's just going to ripple through everything, right? There is talk about hyperspace being sort of dangerous in the way that these space Viking Niles, the Nile Mordors, use hyperspace was like really dangerous or whatever. So my guess is maybe the Great Disaster is the collapse of hyperspace lanes, and that the only people willing to travel them are insane people like Pirate Mort or Viking crazies in space. And the Jedi have to figure out how to travel the galaxy, how to chart new areas through space to get, from A to B after this great disaster. Now, again, just take everything I'm talking about with a giant grain of salt because it's based on nothing but just what's going on in my head. But either way, the fact that my brain is on fire right now thinking about all these possible scenarios based on so much little information means that I'm very excited. And I hope that you guys are too. I think brand new Star Wars tales are very important beyond just staying tried and true to the Skywalker saga. We've done it, we've seen it, we had 3 more movies and then 2 other anthology films, all connected to the Skywalker saga, and now that's over. I cannot wait to get my hands on Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi, and I'll probably also read Claudia Gray's young adult novel too. Those 2 authors are really just the ones that I'm most focused on. The other ones, not so much. And that's perfectly fine if you like the other authors. I don't dislike or like. It's just Claudia Gray and Charles Soule. They know what I want. So I'm curious. After all of this information was finally debuted, do you feel overwhelmed, underwhelmed, neutral, whatever? Who gives a crap? As I said, you know me, I'm actually really excited for a new vision in Star Wars, for something brand new, something just completely new. I need it. And we're getting there. And it's going to be exciting once I get my hand on that book. And what's going to be cool too is I'm going to Star Wars Celebration, so I'll probably listen to the Audible my entire flight to California. Hopefully I can get all of the reading in that quickly, unless it's not on digital the same day that it comes out on physical, but I guess I will find that out. So yeah, the High Republic, Project Luminous, 200 years before the Phantom Menace. Brand new Jedi, Knights of the Round Table it seems, with a whole new villain, a whole new foe, premised on the idea of what scares a Jedi. Sign me right up. May the Force be with you, and AT-AT is signing off.